Okay, so introduction to powers. How many of you guys remember learning powers? And I want you to take a look at the numbers that I have posted on the screen. You're going to notice whenever we're talking about powers, we're going to have a big number and then a little number that's written on the top right-hand corner. So those have official names. The big number is called the base number. The little number is called an exponent. And basically what this means is you're multiplying the big number this many times. So this isn't 2 times 5. This isn't 5 times 2. It's basically 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And the solution of that would be 32. The way that you read it is 2 to the power of 5. Is this familiar to everyone? We're good with this? Okay. Here is, here, take a sheet. Here is the powers stuff until 30. You will not have to memorize this. In fact, you will be given this, or you can always have it out in front of you. So my hope is you definitely should know 1 squared to 10 squared because that's part of the multiplication table. You maybe also know 11 squared and 12 squared. If you want to challenge yourself, you can try memorizing the rest. But like I said, because we don't have calculators, I will always give you this sheet. Okay. So we don't have to actually just go through this. Let's try a couple of easy questions to start us off. What I want you to do for all of these questions, even if the answer is super easy, I still want you to expand it, write it in quote unquote expanded form, and then tell me the solution. So expanded form, I'll do the first one with you and then you can try the rest, is 2 to the power of 3 would be 2 times 2 times 2, and the answer would be 8. So this form right here is known as expanded form. And this form right here is known as exponential form. Okay, so go ahead and try questions 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll do 4 together. Sorry. Recording. So here's an example where we're writing in extended form, you keep it in brackets, or you just make sure you keep the negative with the 2 because this entire number right here is the base. In this case, the base was just 2. In this case, the base is -2. Take a look at question 4. Question 4 is very interesting. Why is it interesting? Anyone want to try and do this question and tell me what you would get? Saoirse? Very close, but I'm going to say there's another way to solve this. Shams? Question 4. Nope, so that's exactly what Saoirse just said. Javant? Okay, so that's more like it. You guys, in this question, what is the base? Is the base -2 or is the base just 2? It's just 2. How do we know this? Well, the definition of the base is whatever the exponent is touching. So in this case, the exponent is definitely touching the number 2, but is it touching the negative number? No, this is almost like saying -2 to the power of 3. Like this negative has nothing to do with the 2 to the power of 3. If you want, write them far apart so you can clearly see they're separate. So this would be like negative bracket 2 times 2 times 2. And the answer would be -8. I want you guys to just highlight this question and be super mindful of it because it is a little bit tricky. And if you're not paying attention, then you may get it wrong. You may get it wrong because you may think the negative is actually part of the base. Javen? So again, for question 8, the exponent is only applied to the half, right? It's only touching the half, so the negative is separate. It's going to be the same thing as 4, yeah. Okay, you see why brackets matter? Good. All right, let's do the next one. This one, Abrami? Yeah. Yeah, but if you wrote this in expanded form as -2 times -2 times -2, you get that is wrong. So you wouldn't get it correct. Like it would be marked wrong. Yeah. Because if you write it that way, you're assuming that the base is -2. It's not. It's just a whole number 2. For the question number 5, it would be 1 over 2 times 2 because only this bottom number has a power and a base. So just this number here. So we keep the numerator as a 1 and then we write 2 over 2. And so this answer would be 1 over 4. And I'm very much running out of space. So let's just rewrite this. So it's how about question number 6? How would you write that in expanded form? Maybe someone I haven't heard from yet. Nicole? Yep, it would be 1/2 times 1/2. And Nicole, what's the answer for that? So yeah, good job. 1/4 is the final answer. Okay, another volunteer for question 7. Someone I have not heard from yet. Swadhana? It's going to be 2 times 2 over 3. How come? It's because the only power is in the numerator. So that's the only one you're going to expand. And then your answer would just be 4 over 3. And then Javen, do you want to do the last one just because you were already talking about it? Okay, so I like what you said. I think you're on the right track. However, I would write it differently. I would write the negative all by itself. What is the base in this question? It's just 1 over 2. Yeah, you did. You can go pick it up. And so it's going to be 1 over 2 times 1 over 2. Again, make a little star beside this question so you know what to do for it, because if you write it as -1/2 as the base, you will get the answer wrong. Or not the answer, you may get the answer right, but you will be marked wrong. And so the answer would just be, yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for the majority of people in the class. So I want a different volunteer for each of them. Make sure if you're comfortable with one, you volunteer for it, or else you might just get called for something you're not comfortable with. Mana, first one. Yep. 125, good job. Shams, the second one. Yep. Yep. So here's the thing, -7 times -7, you got that right. Would it be +49 or -49? Negative times negative would give you a positive. So this would actually be +49. Okay, good job though. Question number 3, Julia? Good. Yep. Good job. Abrami, next one. Yep. Yep. 9 over 16, that would be your final answer. What did you divide them by? So you divided this by 3, but then this by 3? Jen, next one. Okay, so what's the base in this question? So now take a look at the question. Is the exponent touching the negative sign? No, so the base would not be -5. It would just be a whole number 5. So in this question, because that negative is not in brackets, our base is just the number 5. And when we expand it, it's going to be negative, and you can keep it in brackets, 5 times 5. This negative sign has nothing to do with the 5 squared. And the final answer would be -25. Sirsha, next one. Good job. Now, question G looks almost identical, but there's a something you need to deal with. Ari? Good. Excellent. Yeah. 16 times 4, yep, would be 64. Yeah. And like I said, you guys, you have a big multiplication table, so you can figure it out. Like this would be 16 times 16, which you should be able to find on that big multiplication table. All right, now we're getting into fractions. We got to be careful. How are we going to deal with these? Samantha, the next one. Yep. Yep. Excellent work. Why is the base only 2 in this, Samantha? Perfect. You have to look at what the exponent is touching. That's the only base you're going to have in the question. So I is very similar. Who have I not heard from? Nicole? Yep. Good job. -4 just over +9. Yep. All right, good. Next one, I'm trying to see what color I have not used. I haven't used blues yet. Sydney. Question J, yeah. Excellent. Good. Yep, and then you just want a negative sign somewhere. Good job. Yep. So 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 3 is 27, 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. All right, for these questions, we're working backwards, but that's okay. A volunteer for this one? Javin, so if I look at this, what's my base in this question? Yeah, and then if I were to write it in exponential form, what would it be? Excellent. And then do you know what the answer would be? So -1 times -1 times -1 times -1 would give me +1. And then 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. I think we did this one already at the, yep, it was 256. Good. Everything went wrong there. 2 more questions and we are done. Let's try question L. Oscar, so if we have a base of 4 and the answer is 64, how many times did we multiply the 4 to get to 64? Good, so we did 4 times 4 times 4, and then how would we write that in this form? Power form? Excellent job. Yep. And then let's do the same thing now with this final, and our final answer is 64. So you're basically thinking how many times you have to multiply this 2 to get all the way to 64? Shams? Yep. So remember, you have to keep the negatives there. So it'll be -2 times -2. You know why? Because look, the base is -2. So if the base is -2, it means when you're writing in expanded form, you have to keep this base exactly as is. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 32 times 2 is 64. No, because look at how many, negative and a negative is a positive. This negative and negative is a positive. This negative, the negatives all cancel out. Okay, so how are you guys feeling with that? Is that okay? Pretty good lesson for a Friday, right? Not too bad. Okay, so those were the solutions. For question handout B, this will be homework. Let me just go over what you're going to be doing. Question number 1, You can feel free to use that chart in the very front of your page to do it. So really it's just reading off the chart for some of them. For some of them that are to the power of 3 and 6, you're going to have to maybe just long multiply. So you will try question number 1. You will try question number 2, question number 3. You do not have to do question number 4. We're not going to do anything with decimals right now. And then you can also try question number 5. The solutions are at the bottom of the page, and I'm pretty sure they're also posted on Brightspace. Okay, so this will be your only homework tonight before you start your long weekend.